So while we were using a Windows-based file structure system, we were finding that our engineers were storing data in different ways in different places. With the best will in the world, you can set up a folder structure to get everyone to work in a particular way, but people are always going to create new folders and squirrel bits of data in different places, or they might just leave something on their desktop, or something lives on a shared drive and other parts might live on a Dropbox system. And what we really found is we needed something to tie all those bits of information together to make sure that every project looked the same and also had all the requirements and captured all the same data to make sure that our output was as consistent as possible each and every time. I lead a small team of designers to help deliver client briefs straight to the customer. We take on board their specifications and we work through a stage gate process, taking designs right from blue skies through to concept, industrial design, and then product development, all the way through to design for manufacture, and then ultimately getting those parts tooled up and onto the production line. We work in a range of different sectors, from medical, healthcare, to industrial spec products, through to consumer goods, high industrial spec and PPE. So we definitely found that we were getting issues with file duplication, which was one of the main pain points, where Dave would take one bit of data and Jeff would then work on it for a little while, and then he would, they would be swapping that data to and from each other, and some bits would get emailed to each other. So knowing where that true source of data was became very difficult. Even though we had these folder structures in place, it doesn't mean that they always get used in the way that you initially intend them to. We used to use cloud-based file systems such as Dropbox to push that data out, and we typically found that was very difficult to control or know what was the latest version or revision of data that our clients were receiving. So flexibility was number one for us, again because we're working with so many different clients with different needs. It's really key that we have a system that was adaptable to their needs as well as our own. Something that could handle both SOLIDWORKS and Creo, absolutely vital, again just so that we can work with as many clients as we can unhindered. And also something that could deal with not just our CAD data, but could handle our design documentation and all of our sketch and ideation work as well, because we want this to be a full system to hold all of our design data, so that at any point we can deliver that whole package of work to our clients. Finally, cost is always a factor in these things, because there's already an implementation cost with introducing any kind of PDM system. So something that is also good value for money for us was really key, and something that we could get off the ground as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So I found DDM a really great tool to use, mostly in its simplicity after setup. So after that initial phase where you're trying to work out what is the system that we want to build and make and use as a company, actually it kind of looks after itself for the most part after that point. Of course you'll always need to go in and refine and tune things, but that's normally down to the nature of the company and the business changing its needs and wants as well. Very good. We find it very useful, especially from the CAD management side. It's a no-brainer because it's really good at handling that data, both in SOLIDWORKS and Creo. It means that we've got that excellent revision control, but also from our document control side as well. It's invaluable to us so that we can keep control of all of our documents. So during the CAD design phases of product development, we find DDM category browser particularly useful because we can store all of our bits of data in a manner that is really quick and easy and accessible to find. Again, being consultancy, we're working on different projects for different clients and different applications, but actually a lot of the componentry that you might be using as part of the electronic engineering might be the same. Your tack switches, your battery contacts, the physical batteries themselves, and we categorize all of those items specifically so that when we come around to doing the next project, we can say, yes, I used that on a previous project, and I can go and quickly grab those files and put them into our new projects. We primarily use the web clients to push data out to our clients or to tool makers. We do this through a release procedure, so stage gating through the workflow process, and then we have a web client portal access area in our database where we can put our data that we want to share securely, and then we'll pass those login details onto our clients. They can then see the changes that have been made and any revisions and download. whatever revision of the CAD that they need. It's been absolutely fantastic. The UI is much cleaner, it's much more user-friendly to use, and we've found that as part of being part of the beta trial users, we were able to help kind of influence and guide how that development went on and how our customers ultimately end up seeing our data. DDM was pretty integral to us achieving ISO 9001 back at the end of 2018, which we did on our first audit, and really it gave us a platform to be able to build our systems and processes off, and we actually used a lot of the stock workflows to kind of just to help us kind of get on the road to working out actually what are the processes that we want to have in place and how can we fine tune them and make them more OPD. Support team at CSI are fantastic. I've had a lot of dealings with them both here and at my previous company, and I know that if we put in requests for support, those questions are answered either within a couple of hours or tickets are raised to help improve the system, and we do see those changes coming through in future releases of the product. So I would definitely recommend DDM to other consultancies and in-house design teams. It's a really flexible tool that you can roll out and customise to a way that suits your needs, not just the way that the PDM system wants you to work in.